My name is Vinny Pizzo with Vinny Pizzo Tile, and today we are installing a Tuff pan here by AK. What I'm trying to do is custom fit this zero edge pan to the measurements of or what our existing measurements. So right now we've just figured that out from upstairs, and now we're just going to go ahead and cut the pan the size. We figured out that our measurement from the right side of our plumbing wall to the center was 21 inches and 19 inches from the back wall forward, giving us our center point. We've double checked the measurement twice so that we measure 3 times and cut once, because these pans are not disposable. So let's figure out what we got going on here, and we're going to start the cutting process. And what we're going to basically do is, they say instructions call for a dry cutting, so we're going to use a masonry dry cutting bit with a Makita and a vacuum to try to minimize the dust. Okay, so now we've set this pan up to where you wanted it. Homeowner liked it at 42 inches from the back wall to 46.5. Now, sometimes you have to make the adjustment, and that's what's the cool thing about this thing, is you made the adjustment to try to accommodate an existing drain placing that was already compacted in there. So what we did is we figured out our drain location, then cut this down to where it needed to go. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and mark off the holes, to pre-drill these holes to areas where we're going to be able to fasten it. The instructions call out for not having to put the screws on every hole in here, but we want to make sure that we have them available, so when it's time to put them in, they're already done in place. So it's a good thing.
How's that cutting experience?
Not bad. It's pretty fast. You know, it's just fiberglass. So here is the piece that we took off here, with the exception of the piece that was cut. So all we're going to do is figure out where the existing holes were. Remodel.
Alright, it's on. Did you want to say anything about what you're doing?
This process right here, we're basically have ran all our plumbing, all of our restructured our subfloor bracing, and now what we're doing is we're prepping the floor for the installation of the hardy backer, so that we can go ahead and start waterproofing the pan. And what we did here is we added a layer of subfloor to the bottom of to the top of the bracing at the pan, so that we can get a more solid base for the pan. And then in doing so, we've had to raise up the pan a bit, so we're going to add a little bit more thin set than normal to the bottom here, so that when the hardy backer lands on here, it'll come up and be even with the pan itself, in theory.
So is that a 1/2 inch trowel then?
Actually, no, this is just a 3/8.
3/8.
We can just go ahead and pause. Right here we're sanding down the finish of the pan so that we're getting ready to waterproof it. So one of the that the acrylic slick surface has been stuck up to let it waterproofing membrane be able to adhere.
What we've done so far?
Yeah. On the drain, we basically measured, like the video said, 2 3/8 beneath the bottom of the pan to the actual cut of the receiving end of the chief of the ABS pipe, where the chief adapter fits right onto it. And I've already prepped that up. One of the things that we did per homeowner's request is we went ahead and used a glue that went from ABS. I don't know where else in the United States if they're using ABS, but we use ABS here in California, so we used a ABS to PVC glue that you had to prime and put it together. So that's what we did. Got that prepped up, and now we're about to install the tile drain system supplied by the people of the pan. Okay, hold on one second.
And you're wiping it down now?
Yeah, now we're just wiping it all down, getting all that dust off of there. Getting dust off of anything that could potentially create a bonding problem. Now we're getting ready to actually put the latex caulk around everything and seal everything up.
So we got a kit without the included latex caulk, so Vinier went out to Home Depot and grabbed the closest thing.
Yeah. ¿Tienes una palita o llanita o algo para apretar eso?
¿Con la cuchara no puedes?
Sí. Apriétalo con...
Dame tu esponja, güey, por ahí. ¿Quieres trapos?
Trapo.
Aquí. Mucha gallina, corre, ¿no?
Mhm. Now that we've OD'd on the caulking here, just make sure everything's got a seal. We'll let that set up a little bit. I'm going to run a little bit more silicone right up over here. thing is at this point is that specifications and installation instructions. So now we will start to install the drain system.
¿Qué buscas?
Ese marrón, ya, crudo.
¿Cruz o plano?
Crudo.
No tengo el plano acá. ¿No te sirve?
That's good.
Yo lo voy a traer.
I got it. Tiradora.
Looks like we're creating a seal around that
Yeah.
drain.
Well, we're stepping all over it a little bit, but I want to just kind of get some in the hole there, just to. Cuidado, güey. ¿Tienes una esponja cerca?
¿Quieres? Lo voy a traer rápido.
Nomás para poner adentro el hoyo.
Oh, no, porque hay un trapo.
No, that's fine. Work. latex caulking here on this side. My key is going to be to get this onto here. Fuera.
Los empastes, güey, ¿no van arriba?
No. Seems tight enough. What do you think? Okay. Now, the waterproofing. Dámela,
¿Qué?
sander.
Alright, you're on again, Vinny.
Alright, here we're just starting to prep everything over the caulking that we put on all the corners, and now we're going to start setting an overabundance of the waterproofing membrane first. There's the first corner going down. Just trying to figure out the angles of this stuff.
Was it corners first or the sides first? I forget.
Always want to do the bottom first and work your way upward.
Okay.
Any waterproofing process is always bottoms up, never top to bottom. Okay.
Ahí está el pedazo de malla.
¿Ya lo cortaste?
Ya está
¿A
por
medio?
arriba.
¿Ah?
Sí.
Okay, you got it, Pedro?
Y hasta dónde lo vas a poner. echas todo donde como está la tabla.
These joints basically are to ensure that waterproofing doesn't, two surfaces moving in different directions will cause a crack. And these joint tapes are basically like you would use in drywall so that it wouldn't crack. So that's why we have to treat the cracks first, and then by lapping all the other waterproofing processes over on top of it, it'll create a better waterproofing system. And as far as the waterproofing goes, in any system, you always start prepping from the bottom up, because that's the last point where the water will land. So
Making sure we get all the, what do you call this? The joints between the hardy backer and the Tuff-Form.
yeah, that's what we're doing now. Creating a waterproofing membrane surface. On both the hardy backer and don't be shy to put a little bit extra on the hardy backer side, because again, the moisture from the hardy backer is going to always suck the water out of whatever and not allow the other surface to catch up. So don't be scared to overdo it. You ain't going to hurt nothing. The only thing you're going to do is create a little bit more of a lump where your tile's going to hit.
Can you tell if there's a slight slope going towards the drain from there?
Now there is.
No, there's.
This was flush with the, because we cut the pan to size, depending on where the pan is and its dimension that you're going to need. Sometimes because of the sloping, it's got a different height difference. Like on this side, we didn't cut it, so it was at its original form. So the hardy backer has to catch up a little bit. So we'll have to feather in a little bit more thin set on one side to catch up. But on this side, it was flush. And that was because we put that backing in it when it did that. Okay. Put it down.
I think the recommended dry time was, do you remember? Was it 1.5 hours, 2 hours
For what?
for the first coat?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good coat. So, that's a done deal. Now we gotta deal with the drain. Right?
I think so.
Alright. So,
Part of this drain gasket is guys are putting too much liquid waterproofing underneath the gasket and it's not drying, so you don't want to daub this up. Just simply brushing a nice even layer on the pan. Again, the back side of this. Set that in place. Brush, go right over the top now.
You're gonna be like the only guy in Southern California that can say they've done this before.
oh really?
Yeah.
No one's done this yet?
Not in Southern California.
Well, now they got a go-to guy, right?
Yeah.
Vas a caer talado por desarmador nomás.
Then we paint it, right?
Yep. Painting over it.
So we're ready to put our clamping donut on. Set that in place. Drop these bolts into place.
So what you were saying before, you're gonna run, was it Aquabar? Is that what it's called? Up to
No.
this? Oh no.
Just we're gonna run, paper.
Paper.
Yeah.
And it'll just match
Well,
up
yeah,
with this?
Aquabar.
Aquabar.
Paper
Mhm.
around, then the lath,
Mm-hmm.
then the cement, and then we'll waterproof that again.
So the Aquabar is waterproof too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the water would just run down the Aquabar onto this.
and hits that. This is gonna be all waterproof. That it hits the pan.
Okay. Okay, now it's
You know,
making more sense.
it make more sense to
Okay,
you?
yeah. So when you
Okay.
said paper, I didn't really understand if it was the Aquabar stuff or
Yeah.
something else.
So now these are gonna go on these two little holes right here. Los tornillos.
Ahí está. Ponle mira, para que si se cae el tornillo no se va para adentro.
Hand screwdriver, so they don't get over tightened by using a screw gun. We want to just get those nice and snug. And we're ready to go over the top. A little more waterproofing. We want to make sure not to get waterproofing in this little slide lock here. When we put our stainless steel drain gasket in, that will slide out and lock that piece in when we dial it up and down. So that needs to be able to slide in and out. If you're afraid of getting waterproofing in there, you may want to put a little tape over the top of it, or just be sure to stay clear of it. This waterproofing, but we're going to want to cover this completely. Just want to be sure not to get anything in the threads. Keep those threads cleaned up so that the drain grate can thread down the side.
¿Te gustas?
In order to carry the
Okay, back that
lifetime
up.
warranty on this, we'll put our stainless steel drain gasket in that will slide out and lock that piece in when we dial it up and down. So that needs to be able to slide in and out. If you're afraid of getting waterproofing in there, you may want to put a little tape over the top of it, or just be sure to stay clear of the threads. Those threads cleaned out so that the drain grate can thread down inside. In order to carry the lifetime warranty on this Tuff-Form wet room system, including the waterproofing, we need to waterproof out past the joint between the pan and the rest of the bathroom floor. I mentioned there's enough in here to cover about 120 square feet. In a lot of cases, we see contractors offering to their customers the option to waterproof the entire bathroom floor, giving the customer the same moisture mitigation and crack isolation membrane everywhere else in the bathroom. It is a good practice, something you should consider offering your customer when you do these types of jobs. Ready to roll out the field. I like to use this little hot dog roller because it fits right in the bucket nicely and it's pretty easy to work with. We're going to roll this thing out on the wall, getting extra layers because we've already brushed those out with the rubber membrane over the top of those. So all we need to do everywhere else is roll it out. Well, that's the first coat. We're going to let that dry for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. We come back and just roll on another coat right over the top of everything here, covering all the joints across the floor. Let that dry overnight and we're ready for tile. Alright, now that this has had its second coat, the last thing that we need to do is set the stainless steel drain.
Is there a lock or something there?
Huh?
Could there be a lock or something on it, preventing it from rolling?
No. It's just not rolling. Now, did he do the whole pan?
He did the whole pan. Yep.
The rest of the hardy backer,
Okay.
and membrane.
The what? The
We
red
can probably
guard.
use the same stuff, and then we'll use the red guard to go over the cement, you know.
Okay.
Right, and then in an hour when he's done with this, or half, he can use a second coat.
Yeah, I think they want to see that on the cement, or whatever is touching the shower. They want to see that stuff on it, and not the red guard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they made that really clear. They don't want to see anything else but that being used for waterproofing. You think that keyhole will be okay?
Huh?
Do you think that keyhole will be okay?
We put tape over it.
Okay.
It's like they suggest you.
So when you rip it out, it'll be okay still? Or
Yeah, I'm gonna take it out right now. But
okay.